Hi, my name is Tracy Johnson, and I am the inventor of the Cupcake Cork. I just want to take you on my journey because it has definitely been a journey. The Cupcake Cork is probably about 30 years in the making. My journey actually with cupcakes started with my dad. He was diagnosed with diabetes. And what happened was, the reason I chose cupcakes is if you know anything about people that have diabetes, portion control is very important. So cupcakes seem like the logical choice because you think about cake. If you make a cake, you can kind of fudge your way a little bit on the slice, big, small, and so cupcakes were the logical choice. Painstakingly, I took a lot of time, a lot of tests, a lot of trials, and I had finally gotten the perfect, I thought, cupcake and frosting for my dad. If you have a dad like my dad, he ate it and he said, all I get is cake and frosting, and I just thought, sir, do you know how long it took to figure that out? So I thought, how can I make it different? So I started filling cupcakes. So if you know anything about filling a cupcake, you always bake the cupcake first. Cool it, you're gonna scoop it out with a spoon, a cupcake core, a knife, what have you. So you're gonna have waste, and I know you're all probably like me, oh, I'm gonna make cake balls. Until you actually make a cake ball and you think, this is way too labor intensive for this little treat. Y'all that make cake pops, I am not worthy. You are amazing, especially y'all that decorate them. You're just awesome. My hats are off to you. So I kept thinking to myself, this doesn't make sense. We have waste, it's time consuming, it's inconsistent. And then, life happens. I had kids, you just kind of put that aside and you still do the same method that you've always done, right? Fast forward about 3 years ago, I actually had stopped making cupcakes for a while, but I made some cupcakes for a girlfriend's birthday, and we were at a restaurant, and the people were so excited, especially when they found out I made filled cupcakes. So I made strawberry lemonade, which is my daughter Milan's cupcake, and I made Devin Ding Dong, which is my nephew's cupcake. And so overwhelming response. So that really kind of lit the fire in me to start doing the cupcakes again. But I still had the same challenge that I've always had. Waste, time consuming, and whatnot. My boyfriend at the time, now my husband, and I started making prototypes, trying to figure out how do we make a uniform cavity to fill in the cupcake. We tried automotive corks, we tried everything. And we actually had a pizza, and he said, what do you think about the legs on the pizza saver, right, that keeps the box straight? We've made our first prototype with those type of legs and an automotive cork, and what we do is we actually put it in the batter, right? So the legs are gonna keep it from sinking down, and that was our first prototype, and we were so excited. You have these things, right? You have these thoughts, and you're like, oh, this looks great on paper. Everything looks great on paper, and then you execute, and you're like, okay, maybe not so much. But it actually worked. We loved our little invention. We had no name for it. We kept calling it widget, thingamabob. We were like, we need a name. And so being avid wine drinkers like we are, calling it the Cupcake Cork seemed like the logical name, because just like you pop a cork open on a bottle of wine, you pull the cork out of your cupcake. We also decided that, there's three different sizes of cupcakes. So you have your mini, your standard, and your jumbo. So we also went through to make the sizes to accommodate changes in batter. And so a couple things we found out that we didn't know is, number one, it obviously uses less batter because you're allotting for the space in the center. Number two, they bake faster. So you have less waste, obviously, or no waste actually. They bake faster, and so your cake actually looks larger than it is, and you're using less batter. And I would say probably on your batter size, 1 ounce of batter for a standard cupcake, and the average cupcake on a regular cupcake standard takes about 2 ounces. So you're using half the batter. And then on the jumbo, I personally use 2 ounces of batter, and I thought this was wild because I did Google jumbo cupcake batter and it said 6 ounces. So for y'all that are using 6 ounces, it's going to be a significant decrease. Now our journey is, with the cupcakes, What's super fun is the combinations you can make. We probably have 30, 35 different cupcake combinations, and I associate them with people. So like, for example, I have my middle daughter, Simone's. Hers is the apple pie. So it's a vanilla cake, apple pie filling, vanilla frosting, pie crust pieces, and a caramel drizzle. And my youngest daughter, Milan, hers is strawberry lemonade. So you got a lemon cake, fresh strawberries inside, lemon frosting, and some red sprinkles and a strawberry on top. And my daughter Hope, who my husband calls the bougie one, hers is a rose cardamom cupcake, and it is cardamom cake. We did a cream, just a basic vanilla cream filling, rose frosting. We do a cardamom vanilla crumble, and then we do some rose pieces. The options are endless once you can fill a cupcake. And so I'm excited to hear from people. You know, I definitely want to share my journey, the cupcake flavors I made. We have lemon meringue pie, which is my mom's. My husband's, he says he self-titled his The Blessing, which is sweet potato pie. One of my favorites, and I think it's just a fun cupcake, is the piñata cupcake. So it's just a white colored cupcake. You can change it whatever color. I just swirl a little bit of color in. But I fill it with all kinds of candies. M&Ms, Reese peanut butter cups, Sour Patch Kids, whatever you can find. Just put a white frosting and some confetti on it, sprinkles, and a gummy bear. And not only do the kids love it, the parents actually love it too. Thank you for joining us. I hope you use the cupcake corks, and I hope you share your ideas, because I think, again, the flavor combinations are beyond imaginable, and that we share this journey together. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.